Good morning, YouTube. I feel like a new person this week. Last week, it's not my week, and not every week is going to be our week, and that's okay. This is not sweat. I've just washed my face. It could be sweat, because I just did yet another really hard Pilates class. I swear, these things are meant to be getting easier, and they're getting harder. I think they're just leveling them up, to be honest, but every part of my body hurt. It could also be to do with the fact I had a very indulgent 4-day bank holiday weekend. No regrets. I love both the indulgent weekend and getting back into routine. I think as long as you enjoy both, that's what matters. How are we? So I desperately tried to pick up this camera to vlog last week, but my mental health was not having it. Yeah, my head was not in a good way. I couldn't see the wood from the trees. I was like overwhelmed with self-doubt and like, what am I doing? And it just wasn't fun. But I know that I can get through those moments and like times, and I know it fades eventually. You just have to like ride the wave. But I want to keep it real because I don't want anyone to ever feel like I don't get those feelings or I don't get those weeks, because trust me, I do. Yes, I'm a bit tired and a bit puffy from a vineyard trip this weekend, but my energy, I feel like you can tell in someone's eyes when they're like with you or not. So yeah. Being totally honest with you, I've been really struggling. I'm literally shaking. This is something I would literally never share to Instagram. In fact, if you looked at my Instagram stories right now, you'd think this girl is killing it. She's living her best life. And objectively, I am. Objectively, the most amazing things are happening. But in my head, the anxiety is super real, which is never something I've spoken about. I'm not sharing this for any level of sympathy. I'm only sharing it because I promised I'd keep it real. And I know I'm not alone. But I wanted to share it because I know how many people go through this and how many people go through this to some level, whatever it is, whatever the severity is, and think it's just them, or think I'm not cut out for this because I'm experiencing all these feelings. This isn't for me. And this is where most people drop off. This is where most people quit. This is where most people say it's just too tough. Because it is fighting demons in your head, even though I know it's just chemicals, that feel like they're setting you back or telling you you can't do this or telling you whatever they're telling you. When it gets hard like this, it's very tempting to just pack it all in. Like, the thing I want to do more than anything, or the thing I don't want to do more than anything, is pick up a camera and film. But I've just journaled for like 6 pages, because to be honest, what it feels like and looks like for me is, imagine having being all consumed by a grey cloud around your head and not being able to think straight. And the less you can think straight, the more frustrated you become, because you feel like you're wasting time and wasting hours. And it's probably a signal to just stop. But when I try and stop or try and distract myself, I feel guilty for not doing the work. And it's like this horrible cycle. So there's been lots of tears. Try not to cry now. There's been lots of tears, and it's hard. I know I signed up for hardness. And then tonight I am going to the theatre. It's classic, last thing I want to do, but it's to see Evita, which has just been the show I wanted. It's on doing a really short stint in London. It's been so hard to get tickets for. But honestly, on days like this, all you want to do is just like curl up and cry. I think it's really important not to just make this a highlight reel, where my Instagram will probably still be a highlight reel. You'll never hear of this. This is what's so ironic. I hit 100,000 subscribers on Instagram yesterday, and I spent most of the day crying. And I'll post about it and I'll celebrate it on Instagram. But I can't emphasize to you enough how much social media is a highlight reel. So if you're ever sat alone at home scrolling, which we always do, comparing, which we always do, whether we try not to or are conscious of doing it, we will be doing it. I can assure you you're seeing 2% of that person's life. And so I don't have it hard. Like, I have a really freaking great life.
everything right now is going in my favor, yet my brain today and yesterday and the day before, for some reason, so anxious and filled with self-doubt. But I did want to share that. I don't know how much of this I will share, and I just wanted to keep it so real. So yeah, sorry this isn't a super uplifting start to the vlog, but just keeping it real.
So yeah, I just always want to keep it real. Last week was not my week. I couldn't even bring myself to pick up a camera. I did have a pretty hefty panic attack, and we go again. And I feel so much better for it. Sometimes you just gotta let your brain do its thing, control what you can control, and move through. These are so good, and also they have perfect head matcha in them, so you get one jar is the equivalent of one espresso, but you're eating it. But they're the best overnight oats. So good. They're called the Good Grain. I get them in Whole Foods, but I presume you can get them anywhere. So last week I met up with Jordan, who some of you might know as the manager of the Sidemen, and we are cooking. We're cooking something up. And this morning we're having our first run through to see if we can make it work. But essentially we're going to collaborate on a weekly source of all things creators, brand and launches. He's got a team that we can dip into. It's probably going to be a Substack and social media, but it's something that people have been asking me for a really long time. Everyone's like, please, is there one place we can get all of the updates? Or like, where do you get all your resources? Or where do you get all your insight or updates from? And we're going to start to share it. But let's see how this run through goes. I'll explain more when we're ready to launch. But yeah, the name is very good. Like, all credit to Jordan, he came up with the name, but it's very good. It's one of those names where you hear and you're like, we're gonna do that. And then I am speaking with a potential PA this afternoon because I need support, and this is something Jordan told me actually that I really want to talk about. I'm actually gonna come and sit down. Yes, so last week in the thick of truly in the thick of it, when my head was not cooperating, I did have some meetings, and one of those meetings was with Jordan, and we went for lunch. It was actually when I was sort of coming out of it, so I was feeling a bit better, but we were talking and I was like, I feel so overwhelmed, and he was like, talk me through your team and your setup. I was like, Jordan, it's me. And he was like, right, this is what's happening right now. Every time you have to make a little decision, like, how am I going to get to the venue? Who's going to book lunch for that meeting? The little admin tasks that seem super little. Of course they do. They're menial, right? Like, we can all book a lunch. We can all do these things. But he described all of these little things as tiny little cuts. A tiny cut you can deal with, like, it's fine. A little cut, who cares? You don't even need a plaster, right? But when you are receiving lots of these tiny little cuts, say I have to do 3 talks in a week, I've got to figure my transport there, transport back, do my timings, do my outfit, makeup, meetings, everything has to go into one. If I'm using headspace on all of these tiny little cuts, it's essentially death by 1,000 cuts, because it doesn't seem like anything in isolation. But when you push them all together, it's every time or second I'm thinking about booking a hotel in Manchester because I'm going there next week, or a makeup artist because I'm doing a podcast, or my transport from the hotel to... It's taking me out of my creativity or business or what I should be doing to make money. I don't make money doing all of those little decisions, but a PA does. That's why we have specialists. We have specialists who specialize in administration, and they're professional, organized people. I've said many times I'm not type A. And it was the first time where I felt really seen, because it's really hard to say I don't have time to do all those little things, because they are such little things. But my God, do they add up, and they add up so quickly. So people want to know about the roles I'm hiring for. The first 3 roles that I'm going for and have kind of solidified is a PA. And this was someone specifically Jordan recommended, but we're going to have a conversation today and see. Someone to support with content, but I'm still deciding. I've got 2 amazing people sort of lined up, and I'm still figuring out who I need first and what I need from them. One specializes in short form video, and one specializes more in social media in general. So one person to support with content part-time,
And then the third person is someone to support me with editing these vlogs. So I've got, as of last week, I've got a fantastic long form video editor who is supporting me with that, because it was taking me so much time, and it's an instant when you look at sort of hours spent versus cost of outsourcing was an absolute no-brainer. Like, anyone would look at the two and be like, outsource. So they're the first 3 roles. And then I have a business partner within Mark, who I run the Launchpad with. Launchpad is our offering to businesses or brands who have employee ambassadors or creator ambassadors about enabling, it's a training workshop to enable employee ambassadors to build their personal brands in a way that's true to themselves and cohesive to the business, because no one's really tapping into this employee ambassador way in terms of training yet. So that's sort of the team set up as such right now. I also have a vision. I probably needed that 6 months ago, and so I'm already starting to think about what I'm going to need in 6 months' time. But they're the first places I've gone. And the reason I've done that is because I've spent a lot of time with ChatGPT inputting all of my tasks in the day, what drains my energy and what fills my energy, and what I enjoy doing and what I don't enjoy doing, and where my strengths lie and where my strengths don't lie. And I've repeated that exercise over and over again until I've developed a pattern. And ChatGPT has told me, has allowed me to create job descriptions around the areas of my weakness or the areas that drain my energy. And admin and content support are the 2 things, which is why I've gone down that route first. They're also the biggest unlocks to producing more revenue for me as a brand. So that's how I've had a look at it. But everyone's different, and you've got to lean into your strengths, right? Like, if you're amazing and you thrive doing organization and admin, then don't bring in a PA. But, you've got to have a look. And then I've got to look at what's realistic for me at this stage of business versus in a year. Like, right now, I probably don't need more than 2 days a week of support in any of those disciplines. But probably in a year's time, they'll all be full-time. So I need to make sure I'm working with people who have capacity to scale with me. All of this stuff is stuff I couldn't even begin to think about last week, can I just say? That's how confused my head was. But everything just has so much more clarity this morning. Thank God. And then the other piece to this puzzle, which sort of got solved in last week, is I went for a meeting with a good friend. I went for a dinner with a good friend, and we went to the theatre. And he was like, where do you live at the moment? And I was like, Southwest London. He was like, we've got this office space in this building, which is brand new and basically set up for creators. Like it's like an apartment, studio, co-working, living place. And he was like, you work with us. Like, I've worked with him before. Come and work there when you need to come and work there. And this place is like a 20-minute walk from here. And it is exactly what I need. There's other founders who I know who are also working from there, and it is exactly what I need right now. And it just felt like everything fell into place last week in many ways. So I may go there this afternoon, and I may go there tomorrow, but I think I'll definitely go there on Thursday. If you're in a slump, like I was, even though mine was definitely mental health anxiety induced, please know that things do fall into place. You need patience, and you need to control what you can control. And just know that it's not just you. I'm going to eat my matcha oats and start prepping for my call with Jordan, which is probably in about an hour now, where we're going to run through all the latest launches, brand activity, murmurings, happenings, industry news, and share our takes and breakdowns. If it goes well, maybe we'll release this next week. If it's out already, I will leave a link to subscribe in the YouTube description. It's for anyone who wants to stay up to date with brand and creator, news, industry updates, etc., etc. I'm so excited about it. It feels like a real creative outlet. And there's nobody I would probably want to do it with apart from Jordan. Like, he is absolute, industry best when it comes to this stuff.
Hi, past me from future me. It is indeed out. It's out right now. It's out today. How funny that I'm currently reviewing the vlog, realised that I need to film this clip to say it's out, and we are literally going live right now with community service. I can't believe how quickly we've moved on this and how it's already out in the real world. But community service is a collaborative briefing document from Jordan and I. Jordan Schwarzenberger is the manager to the Sidemen amongst a million other things. He's built and scaled creative brands from the ground up. He has creative agencies, they have a fund. He's just like involved in all the product side of things. He understands IP and the creator economy like nobody else. So when he reached out and said, do you want to do a collaborative project together? I think we should do a newsletter. I was like, oh my God, this is what I need, because I don't want to be just another marketing newsletter. I don't want to introduce another summary-led, broad, lacking in depth newsletter to the mix. I want to create something, and I said to him, I'll do this if it's super high value. And he's one of the only people that I think we can like match in conversation in terms of like conversations around brand, creator, campaigns, launches, marketing. And so what we're doing is every week me and Jordan sit down and have a Zoom call that lasts about 90 minutes. We run through everything that's happened that week. We discuss what's happened, why it happened, and why it matters for you. And then we turn that into a briefing document that lands in your inbox. Community service. And we're calling it a briefing document because you're getting a fly on the wall into our minds, our analysis, our takes on the events of the week within our industry, but we also like extract the actions for you to take forward. So just to give you an example from this week's edition, we summarize a campaign, we explain why it worked or why it didn't work. For example, this is a snippet from this week's newsletter, and it says what to do next. So it was really important for me that we gave actions that took the conversation forward, because so many people just tell you what happened, and then you've got to sit back and like try and apply that to your own world, whether you're a brand builder, a founder, a creator, or an entrepreneur, an aspiring entrepreneur, an aspiring creator, whatever you are. So for this one, it says what to do next. If you're building a creative brand, audit these 3 non-negotiables. 1, deep audience connection over follower count. 2, experienced operators in key roles, not just creative passion. 3, serious funding and distribution partnerships from day one. And then we go on to explain that. It's meaty, it's depth, it's analysis, it's everything I wanted in a newsletter. Because there are so many newsletters you can subscribe to that will give you an AI summary of the events. This isn't that. If you want that, I can recommend loads. They're important. It's good to know what's going on in the world. This is taking the conversation forward and making it matter to you. This episode that I'm recording this week for the vlog takes you through how we do the launch, because we did a little pre-launch for 24 hours to the first 500 people who followed the Instagram page. And of those 500 people who we've told about the project in the last 24 hours, and we gave them an early subscriber link to sign up, we've had over 400 of those 500 people sign up in the last 6 hours. And that's assuming they've even checked Instagram, which is crazy conversion, but I'm so happy because I really think it pays tribute to the weight and the value that you're going to get from this newsletter. So you get it in your inbox every Wednesday. It's your briefing document for the week. It provides you with thought-provoking questions, analysis, questions to ask your team. And it's straight from us. There's no AI. It's us. It's a transcript of our call, condensed. I will let you be a fly on the wall for that meeting. And my meeting's later today. And then I've got shoots tomorrow. So I potentially got 2 shoots, but I've definitely got 1. And I desperately need to go and pick up a shirt from And Other Stories. So because I saw someone wear it and I was like, that's my shirt. And I need to re-engage with Flick, my stylist, because I've got so many events coming up in September. Okay. Happy Tuesday. And yeah, let's do Tuesday with a clear head. Cheers to that.
How are you guys? How you doing?
Yeah, so good. I don't know why my thing's like triple zoomed in. Well,
let's give it a go. Grace, you ready to give it a go?
Let's go. I'm excited. I think we're seeing this huge shift. I think this is interesting for 2 reasons, right? We're seeing this huge shift from celebrities who have for so many years been like the subject matter and not being in control. And these celebrities are suddenly wanting to take control of the narrative through their own creative studios, their own creative outlets. And I think that's really interesting. And then the other side of it is this absolute boom in the sports X culture world. Like the obsession with sports becoming like a frontline narrative
in the same way like fashion and beauty are as industries, I think is really interesting. It's like a signal of the industry, right? These things. Like I always say it to people I work with and anyone is like, when you go on your phone and you like when you start the day and you've scrolled Instagram or TikTok or Twitter or like anything all these times, and then you finish your day and I asked you to write down like 3 things you remember, you've consumed like thousands of pieces of content. I'd be surprised if you can even remember 3 things, but it's like the chances of you sticking to them in that scroll is so slim unless you are showing up at so many different touch points in their discovery every single day. It's like distribution, content ecosystems, repeat. Like it's why when people do like launches and they share like 1 post or 1 story, I'm like 100 times that. Like tell the story, and they're like, I've already told my story once last year. I'm like, tell it every single month on every single platform. Like people think, because you see that piece of content so many times, people think like an audience is seeing it so many times. The reality is they've probably watched it for 3 seconds once and it's like lost out of their brain. So like I'm always like, just repeat the story, like tell it until you are so sick and tired of that story, and then probably you're just starting to penetrate. Okay,
That's
I'll
fine.
get back to you on some dates and stuff shortly.
Okay.
Timings for tomorrow, so.
Easy. Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys.
That's it. Bye, guys.
Bye.
I have just walked through the door. Guess who got her phone contract sorted? I can't tell you how long it's been on my to-do list to get my phone contract switched over. Like, it's such a long story, it's so boring. But the tedious things, when you actually get them done, I feel like it's been weighing on me like every day. Such a relief. But yeah, I just feel like I'm in such a good headspace, like, and I know when I am because I keep getting ideas to create content. And I've just been walking back like in my notes like, okay, and then I need to make content about this and like just have a different level of energy. I've just come home, I think it's like 7 p.m, I don't know, and I'm gonna make some healthy, delicious dinner. My boyfriend's gonna come home, and then we've got to go through a load of emails and campaigns and content and book travel for next week, and like there's loads of admin to do in this interim of not having admin support. But we're gonna close that because I've spoken to a few people today, getting costs, getting quotes. We're going to figure out how much I actually have available to spend and how I can divvy it between content and admin and all the things I need to put all of the little cuts aside and make sure we've got the cash flow to enable that to happen for the next 6 months or so while I sit back, figure things out, blah, 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 blah. All the adult stuff. That's all. Salmon for dinner tonight. And I'm not sure what's going on now. I think maybe one of the shoots we're doing tomorrow is going to be postponed. So definitely one shoot which I'll take you to. I've got meetings, and there's lots of stuff happening later in this week. But yeah, I feel like things are coming together, and when you have a clear mind, gosh, I can't tell you how much it helps. New nails tomorrow for shoot. That's what's also so nice is, obviously I've been out for the last like 3-4 hours, I think. Obviously doing like life admin and things and shopping, getting some bits. But I can do that knowing that I can like log on and do my stuff this evening. Like the idea that you have to follow a 9 to 5 is mad. Good morning. Last night I stayed up until midnight on my laptop. From whenever I made dinner, I sat with my dinner and at my laptop for another 4 or 5 hours. So I guess that's my version of a 9 to 5. But I did just get into such a creative hole, and I created a post I didn't know I was going to create to basically share that I'd hit 100k on Instagram. Because I hit it last week when I was sort of in a bit of a slump, as we've addressed. And I don't really see it as something to celebrate, but I want to share the journey, if that makes sense. Like to me, the numbers and milestones, like I've grown many accounts to many hundreds of thousands, if not millions of followers, 6-7 number figures. If I wanted to grow my channel and growth hack it, essentially what I'm saying is I know how to do that. So for me, I'm not going after growth, which is why it's not a metric of success for me. The success is measured in inquiries and DMs and impact messages, and that's how I measure impact. So that's what I wanted to try and get across with that post. But I woke up and got that live first thing this morning, If you're thinking, Grace, you look like a hot mess, that's because once a week I've introduced hot dynamic mat Pilates to my Pilates regime just to keep me humble. I have got a crazy day, a manic day, like a back-to-back day from the minute I woke up through to about 6 p.m. And if this has been last week, it's all kind of come about quite last minute. If this has been last week, I genuinely don't think I would have been able to do it. But today, because my mindset's different, I'm like, yeah, let's go do it. Let's take on the day. I'm like singing and dancing out the door. It's just crazy what a difference a week can make. Sorry, you died. And I actually realised I didn't have a huge amount of time to yap because I had a very specific short window. I'm going to make my breakfast to get home, get my hair washed, because that is what was next on my calendar. So what is in my calendar today? My calendar is a little bit busy. Ooh. So first thing, I got my 100k post live, which always just takes like 10 minutes to do, stories and etc. And it's like front of mind, so until I do it, I like can't stop thinking about it. So I've got content live, went to hot Pilates at like 8, trying to incorporate like hot dynamic in, sweat it all out. I really needed it. I was so tight when I woke up, and like I feel much like looser now, and it's a great distraction for an hour. And then I've come back, I've had to do a hair wash now. I'm going to eat something. I need to review my vlog from my editor who's done my first pass for this Friday. I also need to film the outro, so I need to watch it so that I can film the outro later today and then send that to her to mesh it all together to get the final draft over tomorrow. And then I've got, in about half an hour, I've got laser hair removal, and then I've double booked, but it'll be fine, to have my nails done because, like, not acceptable. One of my non-negotiables in life is having my nails done. It makes me feel more put together. Take from that what you will. Some people think it makes sense, some people think it's silly. For me, it just makes me feel like put together. This, not good. The reason I'm having them done today quite urgently is because I've got to then come back, blow dry my hair, do my makeup, head not far from here to go and do some shooting, as in film shooting, not shooting, with Will, who runs Behind the Diary, because he's got a partnership with Canon and they need to film with the creator entrepreneur, and obviously I was linked to Behind the Diary, so it just makes sense. So he's coming to shoot with me. I also need to have a conversation with Canon because I need to look at getting some camera equipment for something. Sneak peek, sneak hint. And then I've got a hard stop at 4 shooting with them because I need to get over to London Bridge because I'm also shooting today, and I, for once, organised my day, even though it's all been very last minute, so that I've got my both shoots same day, so I can have hair and makeup done for both shoots by me. I haven't had time to get anyone to do my hair and makeup. And I'm shooting with Click, and Click is a community focused app who, that's a strong look, who I'm on the board for, and they are filming a new series, so I'm going to shoot with them for about half an hour for their new series. Because this has all come last minute, I haven't had a stylist prepare my outfits, which is taking up a little bit of headspace, and I wish I had done, but I've got plenty of things, it'll be absolutely fine. And then I need to meet Jemima from work, because she's been invited to the White House, of course she has, for like a communications day, as like the team behind the Diary of a CEO, and she's going to borrow some of my clothes, so I'm giving them to her, and then basically I'm going to get back at like 6-7, and that's when I've got to start some real work. I've got 3 urgent replies, and I need to get back to a load of people, RE roles and stuff like that. So I'm going to do a late block at like 7 till 10 today. So I'm going to make my breakfast smoothie, whereas like last week my body couldn't do it. I needed rest, I needed chill. The idea, if you told me this day last week, like there is literally no way. I'm going to make my smoothie now, and then I'm going to review the vlog and then head to my laser appointment and my nails. Next time you see me, these bad boys are going to be sorted. She's back. She's got fresh nails. Thank the Lord. Matcha. Didn't finish watching my vlog before I left. Was in a rush. Did go out with wet hair and a matching tracksuit. She's a girl who can do both. She's about to glam up for shoots, so this is what we're working with this morning. Lasered, nails, matcha, finished watching the vlog, hair, makeup, blast through some urgent sign-offs, get back on 2 calls I had yesterday that need follow-up ASAP, and we'll go to the first shoot. Let's go. Right, hair, makeup, travel outfit, 10 times more outfits. Shit, where's my shirts? My shirts are in there. Scoffing down a cheese sandwich and some electrolytes. This is gonna go all over me. The glamorous life. And then I'm about to get in a cab. Went like a bit more dramatic with the makeup because I think you always need a bit more when you're shooting because it doesn't come out. Here's what I found. Right, we've got Jemima's clothes, all my stuff and stuff for props, steamer, shoes, all my outfits, and now I'm gonna get a cab and go meet the team. So we have just shot with Will, who is also still shooting me, which is the strangest experience, which was in partnership with Canon, and now we've got to get a cab all the way over to London Bridge to do the shoot with Click. But I will insert some stills, if they're any good, from our shoot, and I'll film him filming me. He's got all of the rest of my clothing.
Alright, mate.
Can't wait to get this footage back.
So, yeah.
It took me a long time to find my balance because I had a lot of people telling me what balance looked like, and I think the reality is you have to figure out what your version of balance is. Are we done?
Yes,
Oh, it's
yes,
fine,
great.
isn't it? Is there any better feeling than coming in and dumping all of your heavy bags? Oh my god. Did 2 back-to-back shoots. Did my drop-off with my friend who's going to the White House for some clothes to borrow. How did the makeup hold up? Not bad. Right. I'm gonna crack on with some work. Clear the inbox. There's some urgent replies that I've had put on my list that I need to do. But making good progress, So all in all, a good day. Had a good conversation with the Click team about connection and community and social media and the role social media plays in aiding or unaiding connection, if that makes sense. I actually think social media is a great starting first touch point for building connection because content tells a story, but it also shares a journey and allows people to connect on similar journeys through following each other. And that is essentially like an icebreaker, but I do think you have to take that relationship offline to cement that like genuine, true, deeper relationship. Is the same way brands show up in real life with their community to cement the trust, retention and relationships. And that was all because I started building a personal brand. Hadn't said that yet this vlog. And I met someone who was filming after me as a community leader who was like, I was literally just watching your vlog on the train down from Manchester. So that's cool. I've got to film the outro for this week's vlog now. Then hopefully my boyfriend's going to come home and cook dinner. I'm going to do some emails. And then decompress. And tomorrow, we've got lots happening. But I'll take you through that tomorrow. Good morning. It is Thursday morning. And we are just walking over to the house because we've got a little chat with the builder, and I thought I would take you with me as much as I can. I don't really want to film like the builders, they haven't signed up to that, but I'll show you the state of play that we're working with because I know a lot of people were interested in that. I woke up, I've been getting these notifications every day from my Whoop, which tells me that my brain is like on overdrive because it's saying that you spent more time awake, and I'm waking up between like 3 and 5 every day to the point where I almost get up, but then I'm like, I know I'm going to be shattered by the end of the day, so I try and like force myself just to stay there and go back to sleep and not like go on my phone or check anything. But yeah, it's seemingly happening every day, so I need to figure that one out. But yeah, my brain is just like fizzing with ideas. I don't know if anyone else experiences that, but there are worse places to be.
So today we are going over to the house and then walking back, getting ready, and I'm off to the Quotes boardroom, which is the female founders boardroom that Cora set up, that I went to what probably seems like only a week ago or 2 weeks ago on the vlog, but because I mashed weeks together and then missed weeks, it was actually a month ago, but probably seems like less on here. So going to see those gals, and that's where we sort of air all of our problems and concerns, and people offer solutions and share lived experiences of building businesses and creating content and building personal brands with people who are at a similar stage of a journey to you, which I've always said is super important. So I really look forward to it. And then it just so happens that the boardroom is hosted in my new office space. The girls got an office thanks to a very, very kind friend who I worked with, who worked with us at Flight Story. So I am so excited to be back in an office environment and so grateful. August was always sort of a quiet time for talks, it always is for the industry, and partnerships and things like that. But it all kicks off in September, so there's a lot of prep that needs to happen. And I'm really, really keen to level up all of my talking. And the only way I do that is when I secure all of my hires around me, which I'm this close to doing. In fact, kind of already have, but yeah, this month it all kicks in. So yeah, it's all happening. I'll run you through what I'm doing in the office later, and I will take you to see the progress of my other build in my life, which is my house. So I'm currently standing in what will be our kitchen, and that will be patio. We'll have big bifolding doors here, and then we've got the garden, and there'll be a big outdoor shed thing at the back. But yeah, it's weird to think that this is going to be a big kitchen. So we're extending out to that wall, and so we're extending that wall out to there, coming all the way back and doing the classic Victorian townhouse extension. But yeah, outdoor toilet has gone, and it is very much a building site. They spent the last 2 weeks sorting out all our drainage because of everything we're doing, so this was a massive hole last week, and now it's all filled in, and now ready for next week. The steel beam is going across for the frame. And this is what the inside looks like. So this will be our kitchen, this whole space all the way out till there. And one day I will put this footage against each other and be standing in our kitchen. It's crazy that apparently in like 5 months' time. So this wall will all go, and this will all be our kitchen. Crazy. It smells like a building site now, which is very nostalgic to me because we grew up, my dad was always on building sites, so we grew up going to building sites. We're putting a downstairs loo under the stairs. This will be a toilet. Full-blown renovations. I've just got back from working in an office all afternoon. Yay! It was actually so nice to be in office space. Obviously I went to the boardroom, which was organised by Cora, by Quotes, which is female founders coming together. It's amazing how a problem off your chest just feels so much better, and nothing you can say in front of female founders is too crazy. Like, everyone is going through everything together and figuring out how to build a business and a brand at the same time. So it's just great to hear from all these different industries of women, because a problem shared is a problem halved. But it's also really interesting for me because I'm learning about different industries. So I'm learning about the conversations do happen around D2C and e-commerce, and getting into retailers, and like hearing all of those conversations is so helpful. Even if it's like industry adjacent to me, it's just so useful to like broaden my knowledge on all the inner workings. So really enjoyed that. And then went and worked in an office all afternoon. I didn't film because I chose to work in like the more public area today, and I didn't want to be the girl who filmed on day one. So I felt like a proper city girl again because I ordered my Farmer J to celebrate, which is lunch we would have all the time back in the day, even though I've come back at like, I think it's like 5 because I've got to pack a bag and then get all the way out to, well, outside North London, which is where my parents live, because tomorrow we're taking the car in to hopefully finally get it fixed. So I've got to do the Great Expedition out north, stay the night there, sort the car tomorrow, come back, have a few calls tomorrow. Obviously the vlog goes live tomorrow, so I need to review the final edit, which I've just received, and do the thumbnails and title and description. To be honest, my Whoop's been saying for the last 3 days I've spent more time awake at night and I should probably have a nap, and I feel like I need a nap right now, but I'm just sitting down for 2 minutes before I have to head on the train. I think it's like 3 trains to get home. And then I'm coming back here tomorrow night because Saturday I am being taken to a pre-season game of Chelsea women's football with my friend Liv, because she's just done a partnership with Chelsea, her brand D Louise, which is the jewellery I always wear. I get lots of questions about my jewellery. 90% of what I wear is D Louise. She's got some like fancy tickets, so that'll be really fun. And then Saturday night I'm celebrating my friend. She's having a celebration party because she just got her PhD. Friends doing cool things, hey? But yeah, I guess feeling in really good spirits, which is the most important thing. Let's travel home, even though I want to sleep. Hello. It's Saturday and I've just walked in from what Liv called an elevated coffee date, what I will call going to Chelsea women's game, which was really fun. I absolutely love watching the women play, and it was let me just prop you up there. It was a pre-season game, so they're playing AC Milan and they won 4-1. So good. And Liv is the founder of D Louise, has a partnership with Chelsea Women, so we were in the director's box. It was all very fancy. And now I've just come back. I've grabbed my boyfriend and I joined the juice because I'm out celebrating my friend's PhD tonight, which is insane. But yeah, came back into London last night, was at my parents' yesterday trying to solve my car. And to be honest, I'm just going to put it out to the universe. See if anyone in my audience has any thoughts, insight, support, help, anything, because I'm slightly pulling my hair out at this point. You can skip this if this doesn't interest you. That's absolutely fine. I would understand. I would probably do the same. Basically, my car has got this fault, but it's a fault that would only be expected in a car if it had done like 10 times the number of mileage my car has done. My car is 4 years old. It's done 30,000 miles, and it needs this huge part replacing in the engine, which is going to cost, they quoted yesterday, £4,700. £4,700. And I was told that there's quite a high chance that Mercedes would consider it for goodwill payment, i.e. they would contribute to the cost or pay for it because it's so unexpected that a car would fault like this at this stage. There's just no explanation for it other than a faulty part. And they have since, in new models of the car, replaced this part with a new part because it fails. So went to have it all diagnosed yesterday, and Mercedes so kindly offered some goodwill payment. You want to know how much payment they offered? Of the 100%? 5%. What's the quote? I don't get out of bed for 5%. Like 5% doesn't even cover, it's like, it doesn't even cover the cost of the diagnostic. Like it's such a menial amount, but it suggests that they do recognise that they do need to contribute. So I'm going to be working with my lawyer, i.e. ChatGPT, to form a response for that. So anyway, that was my day yesterday. So if you ever watch this and think, her life is smooth, her life is easy, trust me, there's all these things going on in the background. That's just one of many. So if anyone has any advice, any thoughts, any mechanics, any people who work at Mercedes who want to stop me pulling my hair out, that'd be much appreciated. I'll show you my outfit, although it's super creased now. So yeah, this really cute little shirt I just got from And Other Stories. I love like a detailed, loud moment shirt. I feel like it's just such a good thing to elevate an outfit. Obviously got all my, and my Chelsea women's band, all my D Louise jewelry on, and took my
bag. So this was the look, because a lot of people have been asking for links and things. So I will try and link this all in the comments below. And I think I said that I gave Jem from work some outfits to go to the White House. So, you know, technically my clothes are in the White House, so that's technically like a piece of me in the White House. And she very kindly gave me her Ganny shoes to look after while she's away. So I was like, no, you don't need to do that. Obviously I've worn them basically every single day since she gave them to me. So yeah, they are super cool. Oh, I know what I was gonna say. I just want to give you a little content tip, because I think a lot of people don't think about this sort of thing and don't think about content the way I do. But I thought it was worth letting you know that on Instagram, when I do a carousel or I do a dump that's very related to me, maybe it's a dump of your week, or it's it's not very shareable. That's what I'll say. If you do a carousel or a load of photos on Instagram that's not shareable, the way you can make it shareable is by adding a quote. Because quotes are highly, highly shareable. So what you'll see is whenever I do a carousel on Instagram, this was a very long one, so if I just go all the way to the end, you'll see that on the last 2 pages, I included 2 quote pages. What I will say is, this is a reach tactic. So if you want to get in front of more people, you want people to share your post. And shares are a really key indicator for the algorithm to show your post to more people. But there are 2 things you need to think about. It can't just be any old quote. It's got to make sense to the purpose or the sentiment of the post. So my post was about, essentially the whole post was about it takes years. And Die Without Regrets have this amazing viral quote post called It's Gonna Take Years. So that's the other thing. I didn't just post any quote. I posted a quote that I knew overperformed. So if you look at Die Without Regrets, this post has significantly overperformed for them. So I know that it's highly relevant to my post. So it almost summarizes it, and people feel like if they want to share the sentiment of the post, they can share the sentiment through sharing that quote. I.e. they get to the end and they're like, oh my God, that's it. It's also a fucking phenomenal quote. And I did 2, so there's 2 options, but they're both relating and they're both overperformers. So that's the 2 things you need to think about. So if you ever see people posting like quotes or memes within their dumps, that's why. It's because it makes an element of the post shareable. The other thing I'll say is there's a new feature on Instagram which is so important to get to know. If you go on if you click on Insights on carousels, you can now see the exact post on the carousel that people liked. And the reason that's so important is because you get so much data in that, understanding what will probably happen is most people will like on your first one, and the second most liked post will probably be the last one, because most people like at the beginning or the end. And what you'll see is probably a significant drop off in the middle. But the learnings are amazing, because if there's a spike in the middle, that means that's something to aim towards, because it means you are keeping people captivated and hooked at different moments of the story. It's also something you can test. Maybe you put a call to action on the middle and see if you can get people more liking in the middle. And I bet you there's something to say that if you can get people liking in the middle, it's going to show more people because people are staying around for longer and all of these things. I just think it's super interesting. Always dive into your metrics, especially what that you're given for free. But I love this new feature. Understanding where people are stopping and pausing to like is really, really interesting. And seeing if there are any like outliers or peaks or moments that aren't the beginning or the end, because then you know you're onto something with that slide. And then you can double down on it in future. Wow, I'm glad I made this check-in a bit more valuable than just an update about my car. Right, I am waiting for my boyfriend to get back so we can watch an episode of Slow Horses. I don't know if anyone's watched it yet, but we're very late to the party, but absolutely loving it. And we never watch TV in the middle of the day, but it's pouring rain on a Saturday. He's been to the gym. I've been to my first event. We're gonna chill for an hour. And I'll run through what I'm doing on a Sunday to prepare for a very busy week next week. It's a fun one. We're traveling. We've got events. We've got talks. We've got podcast recordings. Next week is really a little element of every part of my life. Work life. Okay, happy Saturday. And see you tomorrow. Hi, guess who once again did not finish off the vlog? That would be me. This was an interesting one. This is an interesting one to look back on, as it was now like
3-4 weeks ago, because I'm really glad I did record when I wasn't feeling great. I don't think enough people share the reality of wobbles with our mental health, anxiety, even if it's not clinical anxiety, just stress and self-doubt. And so many people look to me and think I'm this like invincible character with no level of emotional need or feeling, and it couldn't be less true. So I'm a bit nervous to how this is going to go down, but I'm really proud of myself for putting it out there. So I'd really appreciate if you've made it this far and if you resonated or appreciated the vulnerability that I shared, if you could give me some love in the comments, because it's going to scare me being that vulnerable on the internet. It does scare me being that vulnerable on the internet, but I want to frame this as real as possible. That's why we're doing this. This is what we're here for. So yeah. So yeah, please drop me some love in the comments, and I will give you some love back. If you want to give me some hype on this video so we get back in the charts, that would be super cool. Thank you all so much for the love on the Q&A last week. I've taken all the notes of what you like and what you don't like, and we're going to be doing more of the Q&A because you guys really like that. This is much more back to being like a real messy behind the scenes episode, so I hope you enjoyed. If you did and you haven't subscribed, because most people watching haven't subscribed, please hit subscribe. I'm showing the behind the scenes of the founder journey and keeping it very real. And I'm going to stop it here because the next footage goes into a crazy week and the tone is just different, you know? So I'm going to finish it here. We're going to wrap here on another week of the vlog. I'm so glad you're here. I'm so grateful. I love this so much. It's my favourite thing to do. Thank you for being here once again. Sending all my love. And I will see you for a crazy week next week. Okay, we can roll the credits. Bye.